So welcome to this team coaching, which is a very, we hope, a really practical, solution-focused based approach to the team coaching. I'm Carlo Perfetto, and for the not Italians, Perfetto means perfect. So it's very hard. It's very heavy surname that I have to go around. Everything I do, it's a big challenge for me. So please forgive me if I try to manage my my tons of anxiety that I'm having in this moment. Okay, so this is Carlo. I'm a trainer on leadership and communication since 1998, and on 2013 I really fell in love with solution focus. I've met Mark McCurgo, and I've started to learn the solution focus approach with him. And I have to say thank you, Mark, for introducing me to the solution focus, which has become an enormous part of the work that I'm doing right now. Now I'm accredited as PCC level with School of SolutionsAcademy, which is the school of Kirsten Dierolf, which is the other person that I have to say thank you, because if I'm doing what I'm doing in this moment, I have to say thank you to Kirsten. I'm working with her as a coach trainer and also as a coach mentor. I can complete my presentation saying that I'm also a facilitator for the EQ. I'm certificate with 6 seconds, and I'm also an assessor of the Hogan assessment. From the personal point of view, I have 2 dogs, 2 sons, 1 wife, and 1 camper. There is another person that I want to say thank you, and he is present in this room. He's Chris Becker. He's my friend, is my partner, is my supporter, but most of all is a big friend that I have, and he's always present to give me the strength to and the support in whatever I'm doing. Okay, last thing on myself. My loves are walking, supporting the kid in their hobbies. Me, I'm dead, so I have to take them to their hobbies: dance, fishing, soccer, and whatever. Reading and camping. That's all I can say about me as a person. Okay, our intended learning for today, for this session, 3 intended learning from my side. The first one, defining the structure for an SF team coaching. That's the first intended learning. The second one is be clear about the ICF definition about team and team coaching. So what does ICF say about team and team coaching? And the third one is practice some online tool that we can use in online version of team coaching. The very first step is which are the definition of ICF about team and about team coaching. You are watching exactly this kind of definition. The first definition is definition of a team. Team, as ICF says, is a group of people with a common purpose and shared goals who work interdependently in a shared context. So this is the definition of ICF. We need to remember that what we are doing in this room is trying to create a structure which match completely the ICF criteria, because we need to do our work under this kind of umbrella. The second part is the team coaching, the definition of team coaching. Team coaching is defined by ICF as a partnering in a co-creative and reflective process with a team and its dynamics and relationship in a way that inspires them to maximize their ability and potential in order to reach their common purpose and shared goals. Note that team coaching does not equal leader behavior. This last sentence is very, very important in the common practice, because we need to really separate the behavior of the leader from the behavior of the team and the member and the team as a whole, of course. At this link, you have the so-called new core competencies of team coaching. Working on the ICF, under the ICF umbrella and into the core competencies, you will find this image. In this image, you will have all the different activity that can be run with a team in order to develop a team. You have the team building, you have the team training, the team consulting or team mentoring, team facilitation, and finally, the team coaching. Which are the differences between these different activities that can be run with a team? Of course, the first difference remains into the objective. The objective of team building is to improve the relationship between the team members. So that's the real goal of a team building. Because during a team building, we want that people work together, learn how to work together, or know each other in a better way. Team training, the focus of team training is on new knowledge and skills. And you know the differences between training and coaching. In the training, you have an expert in the room. In coaching, the position, the mindset of the coach is the position of non-expert. I'm not an expert of what you are doing. I'm here to facilitate some specific kind of process. The third possibility is the team consulting. In team consulting, what you can share with the team is additional insight that also in this case are held by the consultant. The consultant is an expert in something, in processes, in marketing, in strategy. And so the consultant are telling to the team what the team has to do in specific situation. Then you have the mentoring. Mentoring is focused on new knowledge. Also in this case, you have an expert. Then you have the team facilitation, which instead point to the clarity on some specific situation or some difficult situation which the team can go through in some moment of their life. And finally, we have the team coaching. Look at how specific is the space of team coaching. Achievement of objectives and sustainability of the team. And how the team and the coach work is a partnership, exactly in the way in which ICF defined the team coaching. So it's a partnership. It's exactly the same partnership that moves between a coach and a coachee. That's exactly the same relationship. There is not an expert. It's just a guidance in the direction that the team want to, and towards the goals that the team want to achieve. Okay, just before I move to the next slide, I really know that this initial part is a little bit theoretical. I need this kind of introduction just to move towards to the more practical activity and to involve all of you in something more practical. Any question from your side? Any specification from someone? No? Okay. Okay, I can move on. As SF coaches, we already know that the space in which we will move during a coaching session, and it means also during a team coaching session, is the space between progresses and resources. We as a coach, as SF coach, we are not interested in understanding the deficit of a team or try to find some explanation why the team it's not working. What we are as SF expert, as SF practitioner, we move in the direction of searching resources in the past of the team, trying to put them in the future of the team to make some specific progress. This is a very important area in which we need to remain just before we move on. And the last common ground that we have as solution-focused practitioner is this gallery. This gallery has been created from the school Brief, which is a very famous school of solution-focused approach, which is in London, and that describe the solution-focused approach in 4 different steps. The first step, or using the metaphor of the picture gallery. When you go in a picture gallery, the first things that you have to do is to buy your ticket. Buying the ticket means, okay, which kind of artist I will go to see, and so you have to take your ticket at the ticket office. Some other experts talk about platform or common project. So when we engage someone in a coaching session, the very first step that we put together is the knowing what is the direction of this team, of this coaching. It will be a very important step also for the team coaching. The second step is the preferred future gallery. And as you know, probably in this gallery, we will see the preferred future using, for example, the miracle question technique or the future perfect. We need to arrive in a place that will describe the future perfect of the coachee. And it also means that we need to help the team to describe perfectly the future of the team. The third step is the so-called successful past gallery. We need to take our team in his past to analyze the past successes, to make them emerge in order to find the resources. Last step is the gift shop. The gift shop is the place in which we will understand with our coachee and with our team which are the signs of progress, the small step that the team has to take in order to move towards his future perfect. This is the common ground. And the very first activity that I want to, in which I want to involve you is try to understand or recall it at your mind, which might be the situation where a team coaching can be used or request. Okay, so my request is just imagine which are the occasion, the moment, the situation in which a team coaching can be useful for a team. And every idea you receive, you can double click on the board, create a new post-it and fill in the post-it with your ideas. So, okay, very good. I will take the picture of this board and I will put inside the material. So you will have the request that I have created and the board that you are creating in this moment. So you will have all the slides of this workshop. All of these are good occasion in which a good situation in which a team coaching can be performed successfully and can help a team to move forward. Just before I go forward, I want to answer to the Joanna question about, can you say more about why not 0? Joanna, you were referring to this slide, right? To this slide and specifically to the scaling question. Okay, in the solution-focused approach, when we use the scaling question, we try to spot to focus the attention to the differences. So normally we ask to the other person, to a coachee or also to a team, on a scale from 0 to 10, where 10 is your future perfect, where is your perception of your situation right now? So when you receive an answer to this question, 3 or 4 or 7 or 3 or 0 or 1 or 2 or whatever, one of the most important questions that we can use in this situation is asking to the other person, why not 0? Okay. So we can spot the differences from the situation as is perceived from the coachee or from the team in that moment, and the worst possible situation. Because sometimes people are so involved in that problem that they cannot spot by themselves this kind of differences. Okay. Okay, our next step is, this is the structure that we usually use for the team coaching, as we also help us with into the Solutions Academy coaching and also in the Solutions Academy training. It's a 5-step structure. I will present you briefly, and then we will go through each part. The first part is contract clarification with HR, with the superior, with the paying client, we can say. This is very important because, of course, we are talking with the client, not with the team or with the leader, but with the client. If I can refer to a situation in which a specific team inside a company or we are called to run a team coaching with a specific team into a company, there will be probably the HR manager or the CEO or I don't know who that will pay us in order to perform this team coaching. So it's very important that we clarify what is important for this person. That's the first step. The second one is to the SF interviews with all concerned parties and stakeholders. For all the parties and stakeholders, we mean the team member, the interfaces, the customer, the team leader, if needed. I mean all the stakeholders towards this team coaching. Third step, the creation of a report. Fourth step, this is the real workshop, the real meeting. This is the place in which the team coaching is run. But as you can observe, it's only the 4th step of 5. Because we have the 3 steps before that are the preparation for this one. And the last one is the follow-up, which is something that normally happen after, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 6 months after the team coaching. Okay, let's go through each step. The very first step, as I told you, is a contract clarification with the HR or the superior or the boss. And normally is the creation of the so-called coaching agreement. I don't go too much in deep with this phase because it's just a coaching session with one of these people or more of these people. The most important things that we have to remember is that in this moment we are creating the coaching agreement with the company that are asking us to run the team coaching to the team. So it's just a coaching session. The second step is the interview with all concerned parties. And now I will involve you in this activity. Of course, it's not only important that we understand the position of the company or the position of the HR. We need also to understand the position of the team members. and all the stakeholders toward this team coaching. So we need to create a set of questions, and we need to clarify the coaching agreement also with these people. So just imagine that we need to interview the team members. What will you ask to the team member in order to create a good coaching agreement? This is your next activity. So please, in breakout room, discuss which question would you ask to team members or stakeholders to create the common project. You can use the chat into the breakout room to take your notes. Just a little warning: before leaving the breakout room, remember to copy your notes in order to paste them into the chat, into the plenary. Okay, I will copy this into your chat, so you will see your activity, and I will create the breakout room. Okay, stop sharing and breakout room. 1, 2. Okay, I can create 4 breakout room. I will give you 10 minutes in order to create the question that we need to ask to the team members. Okay. Any question before I will open the breakout room? No? Okay. Rooms are opened. See you in 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay, let's.
So should we write? Excuse me. Should we write the questions that we discussed in the breakout room in the chat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you should have. Are you able to paste the question inside this chat?
I took notes by hand.
That's the best way to do it, Erica. My office is full of handwritten notes. I'm so slow on computers.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Okay. So you have created the. Okay. So you have created your question for our the team members and the stakeholders. Can you put your question into the chat? I will copy them and I will put them into my presentation. Okay. Okay, Federica, thank you. Mm-hmm. At the end of this of the meeting, I will save the chat. Okay.
Sorry.
It's not a problem, Ilaria. Okay, what is the destination? What would be a sign that TC is useful? Thank you, Ramesh. What's working already? What's need to be present? Okay, very well. What is the objective of this project? And from the first breakout room, what would be a sign that the team coaching is useful? How would you know that it's useful? Okay, all SF questions that are pointing in the right direction. What are your hopes? What would other people on the team notice if your hopes were achieved? Perfect. And Ilaria is adding, what would you notice differently when the objective is reached? Okay, perfect. Great job. So at this point, you can start your interviews to the team members, to the stakeholders, and you have to collect together all the information. After having collected the information, you can put them together. Okay. And you can move to the SF report phase. Why this phase is important? Because having brought together all the information that we have collected, we can go back to the superior, to the HR, to the manager, that the person we have started the contract verification, and we can make clear to that person if his intention and the intention of the team members are aligned. Normally they are. If they are not, it's a very important information that we are providing to the HR manager, because there is a space between the intention of the company and the intention of the team members, and this space has to be managed. So at this point, we can conduct another coaching session with the HR manager or the superior, in which we try to put together and to create a real common project between the intention of the company and the intention of the team members. Okay, so it's a very important moment. In which way we can do this SF report? We can do in different ways. A standard report, a presentation. We can do it on the mirror board, as you have done before. We can create a fishbone diagram, a mind map. This is just an example. You just need to put together all your information and bring them to the person that has started the process. That's it. This is a very important step. Federica, please.
Just a question. Is this something that this is what you build with the team, or it's something that you elaborate from what you have done with the team?
Good question. Good question. Is something that I've created after the interviews with each team member. So we normally interview all the team members, if we can interview all the team members. If we are working with a very large audience, we can create some focus group, and to this focus group, we can ask the question that you have prepared. The questions are already the same. Yeah, please.
So sorry, I was just confusing because the team coaching hasn't happened yet.
Right.
So is this what we bring then also to the team coaching as a starting point?
Right.
Possibly, or
is
it also what we communicate to the client?
It's a sort of circle. You start with the HR manager, you go to the team members and you interview them. You come back to the HR manager with all the information from the team members, and you have two possibilities. The first one is confirm what the HR manager were saying, or to tell to the HR manager, dear HR manager, there's a distance between what do you want and what the team members are saying. In which way do you want to manage this distance? When this kind of cycle has reduced completely this distance, you have the coaching agreement, and you can start to move toward the real meeting. Yes, please.
Sorry, I have another question. I don't know if talking about confidentiality in a team environment, I mean, what is in the coaching session, you don't take it anywhere unless the police ask you for criminal records or something. That is but as you talk and interview, and it's like, okay, but we are talking as a team and I still need to report. Is it something that you also communicate to be clear in the process and what will be communicated, but what won't be communicated to create that safety and...
Okay, that's the reason why we are using the SF questions. The SF question does not point on the problem. The SF question are pointing on the solution and towards hopes. When you invite people to talk about hopes, it's of course, you can reassure them everything in this session will be held under the the privacy rule, of course, you don't need to report every specific word that people are telling to you. You can summarize them in a way that is good for the team and the team coaching and the HR manager. Your task is to avoid that or to create the right contract agreement between the company and the team, because they have to move in the same direction. It's exactly the time that you invest during a normal coaching session in the first part. If you don't have a clear coaching agreement, you don't stop for this journey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So now we can move to the workshop. We have done the first step, the contract verification, the second step, the interviews, the third step with SF report, with this sort of cycle. Then we can go to the meeting workshop, to the real workshop. And what is the goal of this workshop? The goal of this workshop, first of all, is to facilitate a rich description of the desired future. Our task as SF team coach is to bring people from the problem to the so-called what instead. Normally, people involved in the people that we coach are telling us what is the problem. Our ability as SF practitioner is to move them from what is the problem, okay, what do you want instead? It's exactly the same movement that we have to do with our team members or the people involved in a team coaching. These are two steps that we can do before we start the meeting. For example, we can create small groups to discuss what needs to be happening instead of each problem. They can also prioritize and work on that. It's an idea of Ben Furman. Another possibility, if you are performing an offline team coaching, is the so-called rant walk, where people call each other or walk each other together and go for a walk, moving from the problem towards what they want instead. Okay. Into this step, it's very interesting to ask ourselves how we can help the team to create a rich picture of the desired future. And this is another opportunity that I can give you to discuss between yourself on this topic. You will work in breakout room, and please look at how you can get a group to create a rich picture of the desired future. Please focus your attention not on the question that you have to use, but the how. We are dealing with a team, so we have many people that they have to work together. So in which way we can create a good environment in which they can explode their creativity, for example, in order to create, design, and imaging a rich picture of the desired future. So, as we have done before, I will put this question into the chat, and I will create the breakout room. Rooms are open. See you in 8 minutes. Guys, please, as usual, copy and paste your suggestion into the array. Thank you, Yiling. Everything falls into place. How would you? Okay. Okay. You have focused on the question also. Okay. We needed to focus on the how we can create the right space for the people in order to create the rich picture of the desired future. So these are the questions, and it's okay. Anyone has some suggestion on how?
Oh, sorry. So we
Go,
got
Rob.
we understood wrongly. We were just thought that it was question to us. Got it. Sorry.
Perfect.
Well, maybe I misunderstood it, but my whole focus was on creating the environment for a leapfrog into the future where things are possible. So removing the critical faculty, removing the analytical mind, creating an environment, a space, a place where possibilities had occurred. So I always consider when I do this, maybe wrongly, but it seems to help me, that I become a method actor in pretending. So I get the team to pretend, to step, and to embody a future. And one of the ways is to use, to step into 10 physically.
Right.
And report their experience from 10 as if 10 had happened. So it's an act as if frame.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's a very good insight for all of us. We have just to add, okay, in which way we can put all their ideas on when they think they are at 10, in which way we can collect their ideas together. And Joanna, for example, is writing post-it board, stand in a line to demonstrate scaling question. That's good. Drawing on Zoom, perfect. Or Elijah say, using interactive tools like Kahoot or everybody write on a common board, perfect. These are the methodology. Great. The question is suggested by Yeling and Rob. The way in which we can collect the ideas is this other way. We have also some other suggestion from our experience, for example, and we will share in this way. They can write an article from the future. I think that's what the direction of Rob, if I've understood correctly, or the press conference from the future. We have just also remember that Zoom is able to do automatic transcription, and it's very, very fun to do it. Drawing on the whiteboard, as you already suggested, or finding a symbol in your house. People are on Zoom, so I'm trying my symbol. I take my symbol because this symbol is the 10 for me, and it is the 10 because blah, 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 and we have to bring together the ideas. As you perfectly know, as a SF practitioner, the more detail we have in this moment, the more perfect drawing of the future we will have. And of course, the most attractive it will be for the participant, because it will be specific. It will be based on their senses. Okay, Federica say using a parallel of the specific contest. Okay, for example, are they a company car? Imagine your team is a car. Okay, perfect. They can create something on their reality. That's perfect. It's perfect. Into the slide, you will have also these two links. The flip chart timeline is an approach used then by Kirsten Deroff in order to facilitate this process in another way. You will have this link on your presentation, so you will have the possibility to watch these videos later and to take your time to take notes and suggestions from this way. It's a completely different way of facilitating the description of desired future. Okay. Another very important step during the phase of the meeting is to facilitate a look at the successful past with teams. Okay, so when Rob said, you are at 10, what is happening right now? What do you see? What are you hearing? What is different? Now we have to move people into the past in order to discover the moment, the highlight moment of the teams. And we can give you some suggestion in this moment. For example, you can organize some interview between people about the highlight. Or you can create the timeline about the highlight, which means a line, which is the timeline. And in 2013, we have done this project. In 2014, we did this change, and etc. in order that you can bring together the ideas of the team member. You can organize also some role play. You can perform the resource gossip. I think you know what is the resource gossip. Or you can also do the so-called small group cascade. It means that every person collect and highlight. Then you can put people in pair. They talk together of their highlight, and the pair are then they will go with other two people and so on, so they can spread their ideas and they can mix them together in order to remember that good moment into the past. Ilaria, your hand, you raised the hand.
Yes, I don't know what the resource gossip is. Can you explain it?
Absolutely, yes. We will perform in a coaching cafe, I think.
Okay.
Sooner or later, we have to perform it. It's a beautiful way of gossiping on others.
Okay.
Do you like gossiping? Yes, of course.
I'm a woman,
of course.
Yes.
But this is a resource gossip. So it means we can take one person and we will start to gossip about this person, about his resources. So for example, I can start to say, if we are gossiping with Chris, okay, I remember Chris in that moment, he did that, and I saw this great capacity of Chris of giving good feedback.
And the person is listening, right?
Right, perfect.
Okay, yeah, I've done it, but I didn't know that was the name. Okay.
Okay. It's a very interesting exercise.
Okay.
It's beautiful. Okay, so these are some suggestions that you can use in order to collect the successful past. The final step of this meeting is that, okay, we have the rich picture of the desired future. We have the successful past. Okay, guys, what's next? What is the plan? What we have to do? Which are the experiment, the action that will bring us as a team from our 3, which is the number in which we are right now, towards the 4 or 5 or 6 in the next period. These are some suggestions from our side. Traditional action planning. So deciding together who do what with which resources and by when. Or you can have another session or a follow-up with coach or with manager, for example. Or action on post-it notes. This is a very interesting one. You can brainstorm all the actions with all the team members. You put it on the wall or on the mirror board, and every team member choose and pick up, okay, I will do this, I will do that, and I will do that. So you can invite them to take the accountability for this action. You can use also the swim lanes or the racing metrics. Swim lanes, I have an example of swim lanes. Swim lanes is something that is very used into the agile world. This is an example of the swim lanes. Using the Kanban board. The Kanban board is a board in which you put together all the things that you have to do. Okay? But the things that you have to do, they can be divided by swim lanes. These are the swim lanes. So it means for our team, in order to move from the 3, which is the place in which we are now, to 6, because it's exactly the place in which we will go in the next month, we will need to do something for the client 1, client 2, and client 3 that are the swim lanes. So you have the backlog, all the things that you have to do. What is the priorities from this backlog? What we are doing right now, what we have done into the past. So we are mixing the Kanban board with the swim lanes. We are dividing all the activities into some area that are relevant for our team members. The other metrics is also important, which is called RACI metric. RACI is the acronym of responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. It means that, okay, here you have an example. Here you have the RACI, the responsible person, the accountable person, the consulted, and the informed. You have the different roles, and you can divide the people that need to be responsible or accountable or simply consulted or simply kept informed about what is happening in a specific period of time. It's just a different way of creating dependencies and creating the right accountability on each people, on each member of the team, of course. Okay. Sometimes it's also useful to ask to the team members what is the best tool that they can use in order to create the plan of action for the next weeks or months or the period they choose for their development. Because normally, especially inside the company, every company has its own tools and preferred tools. So it's useful to use that kind of tools and to adapt our action into their tools. It's easier for them, of course. Okay, any question on this metrics or on these examples? Okay. Couple of examples for the culture change. One is the secret mission. Secret mission is another interesting exercise that people can do. Everybody promised to do something secret for the team between sessions. In the follow-up session, people guess who did what for the team. So it's a sort of searching the hint that someone is involved in doing something for the team. And positive paranoia is another interesting experiment that you can do with your team. Everyone receives a bag of stones, flowers, or candies, or whatever. And whenever they observe something going well, they give the flower, the stone, the candy to the person who is doing it. It can be also performed secretly. So, for example, I can leave on the desk of Chris, because I saw Chris in the past day doing something very, very important for our team, 2 candies because you did something good. So Chris knows that someone is observing in a positive paranoia him. Federica.
Sorry. Are there suggestions or encouragement, like, I mean, being a coach, you don't exactly suggest to do something, but are you offering this, like, is there anything you could do to help the culture to change and then encourage them to think and go in that direction? Or is it something that you're offering as a possibility and then maybe they find something adapting them?
This is a very PCC level question. Because as we know, in a coaching session, we should avoid to suggest to the coachee which experiment they can do in order to improve themselves. Okay, this is the right position of a coach, but we also know that ICF allows us as a coach to offer to the coachee, and in this case, to the team members, some ideas. The most important thing is that we don't need to be attached to these ideas. Offering means, okay, I can add my idea to your idea, and you will choose whatever you want, whatever is best fitting to your situation. So we can do it in supporting spirit. I would say. Okay, so these are two offering that we can give to our team members. Okay. And finally, we have the follow-up. We have performed the first, second, third, and fourth with the meeting and workshop, and then we have the follow-up. What is the follow-up? It's just another meeting with this team. And what will we do in this meeting? These are the questions that we can offer them just to learn about themselves. Exactly, a follow-up session in a coaching session. So question like, what's been better? Or where are you now on the scale? Or what happens next with the old topics? Or are there any other topic? Or if it's really tricky, another round of interviews to see what worked and what still needs to happen. Because of course, as we know, things can be worse instead of improved. But that's another learning point, of course. And as a solution-focused practitioner, we all know that we can move in a good direction, also using this bad moment and bad development. Okay. Recording, okay. And the question is, what would be a recommended time frame between session, especially between the follow-up session and the rest? I think that it's something that needs to be decided from the team members, from the team in general. Exactly in the way we do during an individual coaching session. We ask to the other person, what is a good interval for you to develop your experiment and to observe your progress? So I don't have a specific answer to this question. Chris, do you want to add something, please?
Yeah, it's thank you, Carlo. I think also, Erica, as the team starts developing their next steps, part of that next step and part of the race would be for them to develop their milestones. What are their milestones? What might those next steps be? And also the one thing that pops for me is the urgency of the project. So if it's a really urgent project where things need to get done as soon as, you as a coach might find yourself being called in for more regular meetings in the beginning and then phasing out towards the end of the project exactly as things start getting more stable and organized. Thanks, Carlo.
Great observation. Great observation. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Okay. We are almost at the end. And just to make a quick summary, these are the 5 steps of the structure of the Solutions Academy team coaching that we normally use. If you want to know more about team coaching, about how Solutions Academy perform team coaching, you can find all the information that you really need into this book, which is the book of Kirsten Dierolf, Solution Focused Team Coaching. All the things that you have observed into this presentation are contained into this book, so it can be useful to go in deep with it. Of course, as a school, we also perform training courses for the team coaching, and our team coaching training are under the umbrella of the ICF core competencies. So it means that if you are already accredited, you can earn the so-called CCEUs, the credit that you need to keep your credentialing. we have just an example of our 30 hours of team coaching, which is something that we perform in online, of course, because all the classes of Solutions Academy are run online. You have, in this case, 2 hours per week, per 12 week. There is also the self-study part. There is also the peer group meeting. And there is also a mastermind group at the end of the group, which is we will create a group of self-support between participants that will continue for the period that participants lacked most. And this is just an example. And here you will find the website of Solutions Academy, also the possibility to participate to our so-called free meetups, or the Italian version of the meetups, which is the Coaching Cafe. And you can also download our free video course on different topic. Okay, our time is ended. So first of all, I want to thank you for your presence and your attention here. If you can, please share into the chat your aha moment, if you want. Me and Chris, we will be here for answering to other questions, if there are other questions, for the next 10 minutes. So if there are some other questions, we are here.